Still in a fine position, despite, you know, having to give up the point briefly. And then, trust me, he just gets caught out in the open. I think he thought he was getting back to safety, but Fi had other plans for him.
Yeah, Fi is getting a lot done here on the Star-Lord. Uncountered, not worried about grabbing the team up. The more forced to use that bubble.
Okay, another charge here. Fi does get stunned up ever so briefly. And that was close. Not quite enough, though. Damage on Luminosity. It doesn't matter. The VP are at 99%. LG do have to dive in and wager something in order to try and stay in the game, at least in this round. It's destroyed. Nothing we need to look at here, of course, is Dridro's able to have a fate of both worlds, but Finzi did get burst down despite theoretically that healing coming in. It's destroyed, though, is gone. There's that Horn of Proteus thrown into the backline. The 3 players, I think, on LG side were stunned up by that one, leaving, trust me, pretty solo here on the point. Having to try and fight for their lives to stay in this. But Rajaro's been massive. Another pick off, this time on Fi, is going to take the Star-Lord out of the game, but Ice Arts for Dridro. Gets rid of Fate. Beautifully done, Naga. Dealt with Meteor M for 2. Rajaro's able to charge it up massively. Was able to get onto Sparker and Cypher respectively, but where are the duelists around this comp for Luminosity? They have their Vanguards in play, and here comes a portal now by Finzi into the fray.
Yeah, it's keeping them in the fight now. Legendary over the top from Fi could be the final nail in the coffin. Luminosity struggling to get the recap, struggling to just keep these Vanguards alive, but it's too little, too late. Damage over the top now. Strange struggling to shield Fi, going in with the Blaster Barrage, but it's not even necessary. 100-0 for VP. There's a
there, Blaster Barrage over the top with, of course, that extra Bulwark durability means that Luminosity start to lose out in these damage trades pretty badly. You note that, trust me, Rajaro, Naga all quite low. Now they're going to deal with the fate of both worlds. Nevix and Finzi did get stunned up by that, which is fine, but Dridro has the antidote. The healing comes in, and Virtus.Pro are chilling, basking amidst it, in fact. Crook here has duped a Luminosity ultimate as well, and Horde of Proteus does knock Finzi to the ground, but Destroy gets picked up by a Monstro spawn, and VP are healed up in the nick of time. Now Fi, of course, with his legendary, will be able to force LG away.
So sick, the Regen Domain from Saipe. There are multiple players who are at risk of being executed, but of course Loki is ready, had saved that skill so deep into the fight. Luminosity holding on for the moment, but yeah, it just seems like Regenerative Domain is enough to keep them alive for the moment, but these Vanguards are getting punished, trust me, so incredibly low. Sparker on this off angle is just devastating them on the point. Once again, Virtus.Pro charging forward to a potential full cap.
That's outside of this fate of both worlds, though, so Fire would just, you know, commit the rest of that ultimate from a pretty safe distance. Sparker with the gift here. Horde of Proteus comes in. Okay, it is actually able to stun him up. However, there's Finzi. It's destroyed. Changing the first letter of the name to a D. Apparently, the damage boost being mixed in here by Dridro every now and then. Saipe also has another Luminosity ultimate. We are just going to stagger them here. We're going to back-to-back them, so VP have no window that Luminosity can take advantage of. Here's the clobber in time. Fate gets caught out. It's a scary situation, and there's nothing the Luminosity could do to protect herself. Clearly turned up to the wrong weight class as Finzi mag cannons her into oblivion, and Fire's Blaster Barrage claims 2. That should be more than enough in Virtus.Pro. Business as usual, and folks, business for this team is always good.
Business is booming.
And that's why Fire was able to do such egregious things in the previous game. These healers are too good. They're too good at the game. You have to target them. That's why I'm glad we have a Venom, right? Do something to put pressure on Virtus.Pro's backline. Unfortunately, VP can do the same to you and send Nevix on a collision course with your squishy underbelly. Brutal.
Yeah, they're getting cut to pieces. It's going to be just a little bit of stall out, a little bit of delay. And that, in the end, that only costs you the legendary from Star-Lord. Rajaro's going to have Meteor M in the next fight.
It's like, in the chat. I think to follow up on the dive from Venom, but Venom has to get out. It's too low. And Rajaro opted to throw that directly, I think, at the Rejuve domain, maybe hoping for timing to be on his side there, but it was not the case. Still, we have Luminosity ultimate. We're going to go forward with that one, but we have a Meteor M in play now. That was actually used, or got caught by Naga in midair. It's unclear, but he was inside his gift shield. Sparker has fallen, but VP have the numbers now. Nevix, kidnapped. Should be able to swing back to the safety of the rest of his team, and there is a portal in play. Fi has popped a portal up, so Virtus.Pro can get the pressure on. Well, Rajaro has one. Additionally, both teams here now in these dying seconds going after the Doctor Strange tech, and here comes Rajaro. Pops out of nowhere. The monster spawns are slapping each other in the background. Rajaro definitely needs to fear what Virtus.Pro have in reserve, because Saipe can still deploy this fate of both worlds. I got a little bit of dark magic being thrown out there.
The fact that Dridro still has the other Stratus ultimate in the bank is probably going to stay with this, but hold on, he got stunned, just barely gets his ultimate off in time. Luminosity really putting the pressure on in this map. Naga has been doing fantastic on the Namor. Now, seems like the lack of ults, lack of potential here for Luminosity is going to create that first cap opportunity for VP, but it's been difficult, maybe more difficult than many of the games we've seen so far today. Even a safety whale being dropped by Sparker, he does not want to get full held on Midtown.
Yeah, you just can't take that. Sparker just wants to keep chunking him down. Pocket Mental, we see him on our screen a lot, and he was not wrong. Here comes that Fisto from Trust Me. Already, that shielding's been chunked through. Now he has to use the secondary cooldown. That's about to expire, and then it's time to get out. Not enough done by Trust Me there within that window of diving, and it's up to VP now to return serve. Speaking of which, Meteor M comes straight through. Wasn't quite the ace I think that VP were hoping for, but Finzi is still going to have backup for the rest of the team as they come forward, and Nevix had that Feast of the Abyss to work with. Nice orb, though, there from Rajaro. Saipe is blown to smithereens, goes the way of the dinosaurs. And now we've got the Wolverine, who's a bit of a nuisance here in the middle of this fight. Dritro has at least plenty of healing ultimate, and that's exactly who you want. Try and pull Sparker out of formation. Crook falls, though, as Sparker responds with a Horn of Proteus that gives VP the player advantage.
Yeah, and despite what looked like a good start of the fight there, VP just commit and clutch. Even in an
pressure down, big damage getting thrown in Stroid's direction. He has to get out of the fight, but Nevix does go down. Spark is holding onto a whale here. He sees Crook, though, come forward now with that Fate of Both Worlds, and Rajaro is making use of the portal to get back into the fight. Good pick on Sparker, but the healing's just far too good, but here's the damage finally coming through. Fate deals with Dritro. Rajaro had a nice maelstrom of madness there, and in overtime, it looks like Virtus.Pro were liable to be stopped in their tracks.
I think Fi staying on the Doctor Strange a bit too long. Some of the fights worked out for them, but in the end, LG make the hold at the end of second point. It's a pretty solid defense on Midtown altogether. And despite some strong fights for VP on their ultimates as well.
And that last stand, the displacement potential is really scary. Great charge for Rajaro and the Meteor M, but no way to connect it. And it's a monstrous spawn that brings Fi down out in midair, and there'll be no Cocoon revival, no returning to the fray here without a team up available. A lot of pressure going down on Finzi's direction. Eventually, you have to imagine they'll crumble. Sparker might just hold on to the whale here, as there's not a great use case for it, especially with the Magneto right in front of him. His monster spawn are doing some serious work, though, and Dritro does at least have a big heal, but it's still 3 players here for VP. So once that ultimate expires, yeah, Sparker desperately trying to hang on. Only some stall. That's all VP could back to the rest of his team, and now Sparker feels like he needs to go and try and create an opening, an opportunity. Dritro, though, is fallen. Not good. Sparker can only look on as Luminosity making short work of Virtus.Pro. Again, VP only really have struggled against this team on when Wolverine is available, and Destroyed, even though he's not exactly been the headliner in this game, has definitely caused headaches. Nicely done. We've got
yeah, early pressure trade going VP's way. It's going to get them out onto the point a little bit stronger. Also allows Sparker to take a bit of a fight on the off angle. Naga's challenging it, but the Loki's here with him, and they're getting crunched on. Luminosity full surrounded. VP eating them alive.
Wow, there it is. Fi is able to deal with Crook first and foremost. Into the back line, of course, getting a bulwark given, and the blaster barrage will account for one of those healers.
Still being popped by VP despite losing 2 at the start of the fight. They're one of the few teams in the world who would recommit, and Finzi with 2 has now equalized for VP. They're holding onto the point this whole time. Saife rips the copy, wants to double down, wants to recommit. Luminosity scrambling for the scraps. Sparker ready to slam the door from behind.
Yeah, he just wraps around, deploys the monstrous spawns like a trail of breadcrumbs, leading Luminosity to nothing but their own demise. Brutal to watch. Trust me, now going to try and go in with the Feast of the Abyss. Sometimes to actually swing out of those situations. I think Nevix was struggling with that exact timing there. Still, Virtus.Pro at 99%. Luminosity, this is a fight you basically just have to give them at this point. They're spending for it. Unless Nevix wants to, you know, maybe find a massive multi-kill scenario yet again. I wouldn't hold it against him. Okay, we're going for this. For the backline. Oh, we were looking for it. It will be a point flip here for Luminosity now, as that's Galactic Legend. Does not Finzi traded out for Trust Me here, but now there's no backline pressure for Luminosity. Fight here over the top. Decent damage, but again, it's Wolverine and it's Magneto, so 2 pretty nuggety targets. Very durable, hard to bring down to the best of times. Fire's trying to play inside that rejuvenation domain, but now that has been cleared off. Virtus.Pro don't have any big ultimates yet. It's Horn of Proteus just built up for Sparker. Might be an opportunity to throw that one deep here, as Destroyed eventually is going to have to back away. Brought low by the poke damage. Here's Sparker. Here's the Horn. It's a big belly flop landing for the Aquatic Assailant. 2 picked up for Sparker. And Trust Me, committing ultimate here seems like a big one, but they've got no choice. Luminosity have to give up what they can.
Yeah, the round looks to be too difficult. That connection finally came through with Sparker, finding the devil on the Horn of Proteus. They've been looking for that combo pretty much all series long, finally getting it where it counts here on map 3. Luminosity are going to fall in round 1. Not only that, but BP go into round 2 with a real head of steam, big ultimate advantage.
trying to play solo within that rejuvenation domain, and this is scary. That is now expired, which means Fire can go to work with the blasters.
Crook is great on this Loki. I mean, he's making the most of the resources he does have, you know, with just the rejuve domain.
Stave off most of that Wolverine damage now. A lot of it being soaked up by Finzi. Thought he had an opportunity there. It's kind of hard to see where the Meteor M actually connected. Sparker has to hold on to this Horn of Proteus now. This is looking a little bit dodgy for VP. I think they were hoping for some longer time on the point now. Instead, they're going to turn tail. They've got to regroup entirely.
Yeah.
And get ahead in maps now. Sparker wants to double back here. Sees the dive into his own backline. The Wolverine is pretty scary, and it's Nevix going down. Fire can only stall, because the Lunasto ultimate renders this Galactic Legend virtually useless. Highly impotent at that. And VP can't even touch. There should not be anything to protect against this. Fire's waited very patiently for his chance, with no strategist ultimates in play. Clean off these interlopers. There's no way Fate's going to escape from that one. Utter domination here for VP, heading into the last 10%, and they ain't slowing down.
Just crazy that LG win round 2 with everything that went against them. But round 3, I think this is more of a comp situation. Wolverine just falling flat here. Hold on though, Strange Portal getting Luminosity back into the fight, giving them a shot here despite being down 99-0. They have one pick on VP. It's an even fight. Few ultimates to be deployed, and trust me, it's coming back with that Venom Ult.
Destroyed, of course, the Wolverine didn't work for him. Well, moments Luminosity been flaccid in this round. Nevix has been absolutely turgid in the mix. Real dominant force, and look at the healing coming in from him. You cannot kill this guy. Luminosity forgetting that you've got to go after the strategists. So Nevix soaks the damage, builds up yet another Feast of the Abyss, and is ready to go to work on the enemy strategists as well. Break that rejuve zone pretty easily. Crook is able to at least get away by swapping with another clone. But it's a Fate of both worlds for Dredro. This is going to match what Crook threw down, and Fate rather should have their Lunaso ult to go with now. Cypher though will copy one, and we'll just get a 4 Lunar ultimates. That's the way it's going to go. This gives both teams a chance to build their ultimates on the fact that they're just not dying under any circumstances. But Fire respects the interloper pushing him there. I think it was maybe it's Destroyed actually going over towards that Star-Lord. They get brought down. He's an Iron Vagamoto in play. Naga is stunned up by it, and Sparker on the Psylocke is able to capitalize. Fire with a commanding view of the situation. Sends the airstrike on in. Luminosity are out of time, and they're out of respawns as well. Naga without a portal to throw in. There's no chance of really touching outside of the Venom, which of course, trust me, will be taking the task pretty quickly, folks. There it is. BP go up 2-1 in the series.
Whoa, finally decides to drop it. Nevix, meanwhile, though, gets Trust Me on the other end. The last stand, not taking down Magneto just yet. Still staying alive. The Fate of both worlds going to keep Magneto nice and healthy. As LG right now trying to take advantage from the good opening. Rajaro, though, Meteor M strikes, but so does Finzi in turn, and Jake Finzi gets way more.
Finzi dominant on the point right now. The strategist ult's keeping the rest of the Luminosity players alive, but there's only 4 of them. They have no duelists, real damage issues, and Sparker, he has none of those. Pushing forward, charging, dropping the whale onto Crook, and now potential team wipe on the cards here. Virtus.Pro, they smell blood in the
For the best. Things not ideal right now for LG, but also VP drained on ultimates, so there is a chance if they get any pickoffs in the neutral. Can they look to Naga one more time? Overtime in progress. Tournament life on the line. Fi, though, able to take down Rajaro early on. Already down to tank is LG. 5 versus 6. Overtime progress. They need to stand the point. Dredro picking off Trust Me, and that is it, Jake. They hold them off on first, and VP be the champions once more. The pitcher-in-pitcher portal can. As we get on into it,
They're going to flip the map here, and then just send Nevix back in from the other side. He's very, very quick here to the point. And Virtus.Pro already in a pretty nice spot. Going to be awkward for the defenders to be able to spam point from this position.
Yeah, and again, for LG, they need to be perfect. Nevix, though, getting pummeled a little bit. Able to get back away, healed back up in time. LG cannot give up anything in the neutral here if they want any hope of holding on for 4 minutes. It's Destroyed. Walking on forward, looking for an opportunity. A lot going to be here on Naga, who they look to for neutral picks in key situations. No situation, though, Jake, more key than where we're at right now. The poke is coming in. Sparker, though, gets destroyed. And now at the 6v5, VP may be on their victory rush.
Yeah, Sparker, so dominant, has that snowflake now diving into the backline, getting on the supports, forces that regeneration domain, now balls out to get up into the high ground. Copy Luna's ultimate from level 1. Crook is going to stabilize Luminosity for the moment. VP going to go with the copy of their own. Is the whale going to connect? Not quite for Luminosity, and they needed that one.
They needed something there from Naga, but now dueling Meteor M's Rajaro looking, nothing had. LG Naga goes down, Fizzy with the huge pick, and now LG struggling to stay in this. Destroyed, comes back in on Star-Lord. 3 down, 4 for LG. Virtus.Pro, Jake, they're gonna take this one away. The champions of EU once more, just proving consistency, tournament after tournament, week after week.
Bobinator 077, thank you for the 5.